Now for the Cafferty File, and Jack joins us here in New York. Good to see you again.
Thank you, John. Last Friday, we ran a piece of tape from an interview that Governor Sarah Palin did with the CBS Evening News anchor Katie Couric. She was asked about the bailout package. Palin rambled on incoherently for a minute or more about trade and jobs and health care and all manner of things except the bailout package. Her answer made no sense at all. That segment of the Cafferty File found its way onto YouTube after the broadcast last Friday. As of about an hour and a half ago, it had received more than 1,100,000 hits. Well, guess what? She's back. Palin did another interview with Couric. This time she was asked about the first interview. Check this out.
Governor Palin, since our last interview, you've gotten a lot of flack. Some Republicans have said you're not prepared, you're not ready for prime time. People have questioned your readiness since that interview, and I'm curious to hear your reaction.
Well, not only am I ready, but willing and able to serve as vice president with Senator McCain if Americans so bless us and privilege us with the opportunity of serving them. Ready with my executive experience as a city mayor and manager, as a governor, as a commissioner or regulator of oil and gas.
A regulator of oil and gas. How can anybody, including John McCain, take this woman seriously? Here's the question. Is Sarah Palin helping her chances by continuing to do these interviews with Katie Couric? When this is all over, they all write books. Hers will be titled, How I Committed Political Suicide on the CBS Evening News. Go to CNN.com/Cafferty File. You can post a comment on my blog. It must be embarrassing on some level to John McCain to have to go around sweeping up after her.
I talked to him this morning, and we'll actually play some of that later on today, and he still has full confidence in her and her ability to be president, should the need, God forbid, ever arise. So,
I'll bet that's not a true statement.
Check, please. Thanks. Now with some of his responses.
Thank you, John. The question this hour is Sarah Palin helping her chances by continuing to do these awful interviews over there at CBS with Katie Couric. They're just frightful. Karen in Missouri writes no, and she didn't do the interview with Katie Couric. Palin and McCain did the interview with Katie Couric. He didn't even let her answer a lot of the questions that she was supposed to answer. Palin always sounds the same. She sounds like a wind-up doll. Oil and gas regulator, excuse me. Liz in Tucson, I have no doubt she fits right in Alaska, but not on the world stage. McCain ought to have not asked her. If she were a sincere and honest person, she would not have accepted the place on the ticket. This was clearly not a decision for the betterment of our country. Trudy writes, within 3 minutes, you remind me why I don't watch the opinionated news on CNN. It's difficult for the Republican Party to run against Obama and the entire broadcast media. Your condescending attitude towards Sarah Palin's another example of the lockstep left trying to portray a Republican as less intelligent. Trudy, when it comes to Sarah Palin, that's not much of a reach. SAR, Tel Aviv, Israel. In the 70s, Bette Midler said it best. This is what John McCain must believe, too. Midler said, of course I have standards. They may be exceedingly low, but I do have standards. Kay in Tallahassee, I think she made it worse in the second interview. She had to bring Daddy McCain along to help her. She looks like she can't talk to the press on her own. Carolyn in New York, I agree with you completely. I have never before felt frightened for my country, but the idea of Sarah Palin becoming president is truly beyond belief. John McCain put our national interest in last place when making this selection. Country first? Far from it. And Kev writes, Katie Couric may very well be saving the U.S. and perhaps the world from the idiotic words of Sarah Palin. Can you imagine 4 years of her? I'm not sure she's qualified to be governor of Alaska. It's great, though. You couldn't write this stuff. Indeed, you couldn't. If you, she makes Tina Fey look legit. If you didn't see your email here, you can go to my blog at cnn.com/Cafferty File and look for yours there. Every time we do one of these, the servers just begin to hiccup and sputter, and smoke comes out of them. Thousands of emails.
You're costing us thousands of dollars in repairs.
That's right.
Jack, thanks much.